much, as we are just about set for kickoff. Cincinnati won the toss and deferred. And the playoff, Dan, begins now for the Bearcats, number 5 in the college football playoff rankings. No margin for error. Two weeks to go in the regular season for Cincinnati. They play SMU today. They wrap up Thanksgiving weekend at East Carolina. But Tanner Mordecai and the Ponies might be the most threatening team they have left on their schedule. Who knows?
I think SMU is, skill position-wise, backs, tight ends, and wide receivers, the most talented team Cincinnati has played all year. That is including Notre Dame. Tanner Mordecai is a guy that can get really hot. They got to settle him in quickly in this game.
And he has Ulysses Bentley to his right in the shotgun to start. Bentley gets the game's first carry and goes right up the middle for about 6. He has a high ankle sprain that he has basically fought all season, but he's as close to 100% as he has been since September. As Sonny Dykes told us, he had his best week of practice that maybe he's had since the start of the season.
He's a real difference maker for their offense. Completely versatile and dynamic at the tailback spot.
Flag down. This will be a false start, it looks like, against SMU.
Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Now, if you get on the scoreboard on the opening drive against Cincinnati, you're breaking a 12-game streak of opponents that haven't been able to do it.
I think it goes all the way back to UCF last year for this Cincinnati defense. Mike Tressel, their defensive coordinator, actually excited. He thinks his guys are the most locked in they've been all year. Respect for SMU's offense.
Mordecai rifles one to the 32-yard line, about 3 yards shy of a first down as Reggie Robertson makes the catch. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, Robertson did an awesome job coming back to that football. Cincinnati is a man coverage-based defense. One safety in the middle of the field, and then they want to play man across the board. Bottom of our screen is a fantastic matchup. Kobe Bryant, lockdown corner, versus the true freshman Goffney.
And catch made short of the 35 by Rashee Rice. And he can't shake free from Arquan Bush. Caught it short of the sticks. It'll be 4th down, and SMU will have to kick it away.
Rashee Rice does such a nice job coming back to the ball. He gets to that initial first down marker, and then coming back to the ball takes it away. Cincinnati's defense gets off the ball, off the field on that quick 3rd and out.
Trainers are looking at Bush over on the sideline. So it is a 3 and out for SMU, and a punt that bounces down to Ryan Montgomery. Lowers his shoulders and gets just about to midfield. Terrific field position to start after a 22-yard return. So Desmond Ridder, 40 wins as a starter at Cincinnati, the winningest active quarterback in the country, and he is now the all-time touchdown leader in Cincinnati history as well.
Yeah, complete control of this offense. Does such a good job of not only getting them out of bad plays, but into good plays, and then also into ideal plays. He's going to have to make some throws to the perimeter today against this SMU defense that is starting two true freshmen at the cornerback spots.
And UC gets back their running back this week as well. They'll play action fake it, though, to Jerome Ford. Ridder's going to take a shot. Out ahead of the 10-yard line is Tyler Scott. A walk-in 53-yard touchdown strike to start it for UC.
Playing quarters coverage, this safety in the middle of the field. Watch the tight end push up. He's got that number 2, runs right in his face, the in route, he squats on it, post goes over the top. That is a perfect play design by the offensive coordinator, Mike Denbrock, understanding I'm gonna get quarters coverage to start this game out of SMU. Let's take our shot over the top, sudden change, touchdown Bearcats.
Alex Bales adds the point after a 1-play, 7-second touchdown drive. capped by Tyler Scott from Desmond Ridder.
What a beautiful job by Desmond Ridder in the pocket, seeing that safety jump up. Early post, touchdown, 7-0. Bearcats at home.
You're watching the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Papa John's. A quick strike touchdown for Cincinnati, and they have a 7-0 lead. We've only played a couple of minutes here at Nippert. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Chris Button along as well. A packed house with playoff hopes. And it'll come out to the 25-yard line for the Ponies. And Chris, how much is the playoff on the minds of this Cincinnati team?
You know, while nationally is Cincinnati going to make the playoffs, what do? Do they have to put up style points? It's not talked about much inside the locker room here at Cincinnati. I asked running back Ryan Montgomery, what is the committee missing about this team? He told me, we know what we bring to the table, and we're fine with that. Gritty, tough, nasty team that goes to work and doesn't listen to the outside noise. We just listen to each other.
How hard is it, though, as a coaching staff to try and keep a team focused when everyone that they're surrounded by, I'm sure, is talking about the play?
Don't turn the TV on. That goes a long way.
And off to Bentley. He is met after a gain of a yard. Nowhere to go as Joel DeBlanco and Brian Cook combine on the tackle.
I think that's what Luke Fickell's message, at least to us, was yesterday. Guys, I don't even turn the television on. The reality is, if we don't play our best, we don't deserve to get in. And they can't become obsessed with trying to get an invite. They're either going to get it or not.
Hard-working yard again for Ulysses Bentley. And now it's 3rd down and 8. And SMU in danger of 2 straight 3-and-outs to start.
It's interesting to start this game for SMU offensively. I don't know if it's because they respect Cincinnati and the coverage so much, but they are a throwing football team. That is their absolute strength. They are not a team that wants to pound the rock. So while I get that they want to settle their quarterback in, your best players are out in the perimeter. Look at the slot to Rice.
Mordecai, pocket collapsing, and down he goes. It will be a 3-and-out for the 2nd consecutive drive to start, as Curtis Brooks gets the sack on Tanner Mordecai.
This is what happens when you play in 3rd and long football. You can play 7 guys in coverage if you're Cincinnati, and then one of those defensive linemen can go to work. Watch Curtis Brooks, the left side of your screen, just fight through. No one's open. Mordecai tries to climb up, but Brooks is there to clean up that sack. 2 fantastic starts by the Cincinnati defense.
Brendan Hall, the freshman, barely gets the punt away. It'll be good field position again, though, for Cincinnati. A fair catch at the 40-yard line after a 41-yard punt. As we take a look at the top 6 of the college football playoff, Michigan and Maryland. That game underway. Obviously, Ohio State and Georgia both with no problem. Of course, Georgia 56-7 over Charleston Southern. Ohio State by the same score over the number 7 team in the college football playoff rankings.
Absolutely hammering Michigan State today. Ohio State has gotten better and better and better. Their quarterback, C.J. Stroud, today had a fantastic afternoon. It looks like they are one of the 4 best teams in America, unquestionably.
Jerome Ford for about 3 yards off right guard. How about the resume build today for C.J. Stroud in terms of the Heisman? He had 5 touchdown passes, I think, on their first 6 possessions, didn't he?
The more impressive thing is 32 of 35. It's hard to go do that just routes on air at practice without defensive backs. 32 of 35 in a real game is playing well. You'd have to say he's the Heisman frontrunner right now after today's performance against the top 10 ranked team.
Quarterback run for Ridder. He gets hit and dropped at the line of scrimmage by Mike Williams. So it will be 3rd down and a long 6, close to 7.
You know, something I want to see out of the Cincinnati offensive line today is a better performance than last week. They were not good last week, and I want to see getting their center back, Renfro, if they play a little bit better. They need to work on their technique. They need to work on their footwork to truly feel good about that unit going into next week, the potential American Conference Championship, and then the playoff. Motion your back and zone coverage.
A four-man rush. Ritter, well protected, has time to look over the middle, but sails one high of Tyler Scott, so Cincinnati will kick it away. That's a big stop for the SMU defense to stabilize this game early.
Yeah, much needed. A little bit of a miss by Ritter. You're going to get an in route from the right side of the screen. Good protection. Climb the pocket just a little bit. I like the touch of that throw. Just slightly missed on that accurate throw. And you can see he knew it there. That's the perfect play call for the coverage that you had for SMU. And just a little bit of a miss by Desmond Ritter there. But to your point, Bob, I mean, SMU needed that stop. I think they just got to get Mordecai out of the pocket and get in some completions here.
End over end kick for Mason Fletcher. And Robertson with a fair catch inside the 15-yard line. 9:47 to go, first quarter. Bearcats with an early touchdown lead.
ESPN College Football is delivered by Papa John's. It's Bacon Mania at Papa John's with the new Triple Bacon Pizza. Order today.
Senior day here at Cincinnati. And Desmond Ritter celebrating with his daughter Layton as they walked out here. Part of a senior class that went 41-6 in their 4 years here. You know, Ritter didn't know if he was going to come back after last season. One of the reasons is because of that beautiful little girl, Layton. He was so comfortable and familiar with the friends and family that they've had here. Pretty special that she got to be a part of senior day with him.
There's a handoff to Trey Segers to start this drive for SMU. He picks up 6 out to the 21-yard line. Well, his family is going to at some point have to get more comfortable with some type of an NFL city.
Yeah, you're not going to be in Cincinnati next year.
He's going certainly to a professional environment before too long.
Teams are absolutely going to love the character that Desmond Ritter brings.
Mordecai on the slant, incomplete. Looking for Robertson. So now it's third down, and this to avoid 3 consecutive 3-and-outs to start.
You know, SMU wanted to come out and play with their tempo to hopefully establish some rhythm. But to do that, you have to hit on the easy stuff. If you run the ball on first down, you get to 2nd and 4. It's really difficult to get that incompletion. You got to get into some type of pattern play calling wise for this offense. Right now they just need a first down to settle in.
And again, they are without 2 of their best wide receivers in Jordan Curley and Danny Gray because of injury. 4-man rush, swing pass, Bentley, pursue, nowhere to go. He's heading south instead of north, and it will be another 3-and-out for the Mustangs. Javon Hicks was the first Bearcat there.
You're trying to get man coverage and a pick screen up top. Watch Calcaterra in the slot. But both defenders do a great job of having vision in the backfield, not falling for anything, and tracking Bentley down. You know, once you get that man coverage, Calcaterra's got to come down hard for that pick and sell that you're going to run a shallow cross to get that defender to follow you. The Cincinnati defense right now just lining up and playing man coverage and winning.
And they got a piece of the punt. That is a blocked punt by Cincinnati. And they're going to start with the football at the 30-yard line of SMU. Wilson Huber, the backup senior linebacker, got a piece of the punt. And that's as good as a turnover, Dan. That's a flip of field position of 10 yards from where this last drive started for SMU.
You know, Cincinnati almost got home the last one. And Huber just goes right up the middle of that wedge. And watch him get his right arm extended. Get skinny, too. Get the right arm extended. And now, right now, for Cincinnati's offense, this is a moment or a place where you think they could take their shot. Number 12, Alec Pierce, their big-time receiver in the slot. They like to be aggressive in these situations.
So they start at the 25-yard line. And now Ritter, fake hand clap, gets SMU to tip their hands.
Exactly. This is why he's such a good player. Mentally, he sees what the defense is doing. He shifts the formation. He's going to get them into the perfect play for their offense.
Handed to Ford. And that perfect play was read by DeVere Levelston as he makes the tackle at the line of scrimmage. Only a gain of 1.
It's going to be a really good matchup to watch. Desmond Ridder today at the line of scrimmage because he checks into a run opposite the initial direction while he's checking. SMU's defense checks again. That's a big stop for this SMU defense to try and slow down the run game led by Jerome Ford. Two high safeties work the middle of the field.
He'll look left instead. And out to the 15-yard line, very close to a first down for Trey Tucker. He is just inside the 15. That is good for a first down to the 14.
Yeah, good job by Tucker. Watch this shot right into your window. Quick little out route, corner follows. Make sure that ball's out on time. Contact at the catch. Good timing, quarterback to receiver there. This is where Cincinnati's dangerous. Bottom of the screen is Alec Pierce. Pierce is 6'3", 215 pounds. It's difficult just to play single coverage against him.
A jet sweep to Leonard Taylor, the tight end. And he is strung out, gets to the 11-yard line, picks up 3. Back to Ridder, though, for a moment. I remember a month ago when we had this Cincinnati team put up a season high in points against UCF. And something that struck you was when the coaches told us that Desmond Ridder runs the post-practice meetings with the skill players. What did that tell you about a college quarterback to do that?
Yeah, great leadership, ownership of the offense, ownership of the performance that you expect to have every single weekend, but he's also in their game plan meetings, Bob, to start the week. So this is a guy that knows everything that you design or want to offensively to get done every week.
Ford moves the pile down close to the 5-yard line before he's driven back a couple of yards short of a first down. And in that game we had a month ago, Jerome Ford had 4 rushing touchdowns and 189 yards against UCF. So when they were without him last week with that ankle injury, the complimentary running backs all stepped up. Chuck McClellan, Ethan Wright, Ryan Montgomery combined to have a good day, but they're happy to have him back.
Yeah, I think the difference with Ford in the backfield is he's got the ability to hit the home run almost every single time. He's got 3 runs over 75 yards that are touchdowns just this year.
They'll give it to him on 3rd down. Looks like he has a first down just inside the 4. Trevor Denbo came up to make the stop, but it's 1st and goal for Cincinnati.
Stay with your run if you're Cincinnati right now. Your offensive line's feeling good. Unless you want to try to sneak one of your tight ends out on a little play fake, I think committing to running the football at this SMU defense is a good thing.
Will indeed run it again, and it's a walk-in touchdown for Jerome Ford. His 16th on the ground this season.
Capitalize on the punt block. Watch Dylan O'Quinn, the right tackle right here. This is what it looks like to wash a defensive lineman down. Push, push, push forward. Cut right off his backside and then across that goal line. Nice job by the right tackle. Really pushing that defensive line for SMU across. And Ford just that little hesitation behind.
Field position, 22-yard punt. Gives Cincinnati the short field, the 22-yard punt return, I would say, to score their first touchdown and the blocked punt. They capitalize with the short field again. All 3 phases of the game right now going Cincinnati's way. 14-0, they've got the lead over SMU. Their defense has been solid so far. 3 3-and-outs for SMU. Special teams has made a big impact with a deflected punt and a good punt return. And the offense has done the job with 2 short fields. It will come out to the 25-yard line for the Mustangs. Our first opportunity to say hi to Matt Barrett. Boy, you wonder would Wisconsin be the most dangerous opponent possibly left for Ohio State?
They're good.
Certainly wasn't Michigan State today. Will it be Michigan next week? Who knows? As Mordecai. That's the first down of the game for SMU. They had gone 3 and out on their first 3 possessions, but Rashee Rice with a gain of 10.
Yeah, Rice got to have a big day today. With their star receiver, Danny Gray, not playing today, it's got to be Rice's show.
Quick handoff, Trey Siggers. And that's a good gain on first down, about 7.5.
I think one of the things that SMU still at least can feel okay about is there's so much time still left in this football game. If they can get their tempo going and try to wear out this defensive line for Cincinnati.
Siggers again. That's good for a first down. Deshaun Pace made the stop. Of course, the blessing and the curse of playing real fast. If you get into a rhythm, fantastic.
Correct.
If you're going 3 and out,
good luck.
Your shell-shocked defense barely has a chance to get a drink of water,
yep.
And all of a sudden, 30 seconds later, they're back out on the field.
Look at this matchup at the top of the screen go. Robertson, Kobe Bryant again, just one-on-one, challenging each other at the line of scrimmage.
Mordecai looks the other way, swings one out of the backfield to Bentley. And he is to midfield, flag out. Bentley went down on the Cincinnati sideline, and a penalty marker was thrown.
There is no foul on the play. Second down.
I think immediately Luke Fickell went over to say whatever the contact was, it was inadvertent, and the officials got together and picked up the marker after this contact on the sideline.
See, Bob, I think it's number 10 right here on the sidelines. I think initially they thought, oh, look at that shove. And I like the fact that they pulled that flag because I didn't think that was a necessary unsportsmanlike or personal foul.
And Bentley picks up the first down.
And I mentioned the play before, Kobe Bryant versus Robertson at the top of the screen. That is going to be a matchup to watch today, is just how physical Cincinnati's defense with Sauce Gardner and Kobe Bryant and Hicks, how physical can those guys be at the line of scrimmage versus the dynamic pass catching options, Calcaterra tight end and the receivers for SMU.
Calcaterra in the slot right, they'll run it instead with Bentley, he bounces it outside. Flags though. I believe I heard whistles on the near sideline before the play was over. Arquan Bush pushed him out, but no flags on the play. It's just a gain of 7.
Good vision by Bentley. Popping that ball outside, a little bit muddy in the middle. I heard whistles as well. Trust in your eyes to get that ball outside.
For Mordecai, rolling on second down, looks back to the left, hit as he throws, and it comes out wobbly. It is scooped up, and now they will say an incomplete pass, which it was, as Deshaun Pace got through and hit Mordecai. 3rd down and 3.
They're trying to get Siggers leaking out of the backfield, fake it to him, roll one way, get the linebacker to suck up and try to get a throwback. Again, Cincinnati's defense stays home. I think you might be thinking 4-down territory if you're here. If you're SMU, you're getting man coverage. You got to think some kinds of picks or rubs against this defense.
Play clock at 7 as Mordecai looks over.
Got a good run bus.
His back, play clock at 2. They get the snap off. There's the slam. Knocked away. Dylan Goffney, the intended receiver, flag out. Flag thrown at the line of scrimmage. Kobe Bryant was blanketing Dylan Goffney. This is a big call. And a decision to make now for Cincinnati. Do you take the 10 yards or keep it at 4th down and 3, knowing that 4th down and 3, SMU will probably go for it. What would you do?
Yeah, I would probably take the 10 yards
Personal
with the way
foul.
my defense is playing.
Chop block. Offense number 51 and number 4. 15-yard penalty. Replay. 3rd down.
This is one of the best cover units in all of America with your 2 corners. Watch Osborne on this chop right here.
I thought the initial call was holding.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And a 10-yard penalty. I think a 15-yard penalty makes it a no-brainer to take the yards.
Absolutely. We're talking about this rush unit. Watch 21, Myjai Sanders, moving around right near the bottom of the screen. Got to make sure you protect him to have a chance.
4-man rush. Mordecai steps up. The press coming. Throws one up the sideline, incomplete. Goffney had it go right through his hands on a dive with a flag down again on the far side of the field.
Offside. Defense number 90. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So that'll give 5 yards and the down back to SMU, and it'll make it 3rd down and about 13.
You know, mentioned it the last play, and Sanders almost got home. If you're SMU, you cannot hang your tackles out to dry. Back is to that same side. You got to chip Sanders, and then you got to think in breaking routes versus this outside leverage man.
And you don't need all 13 yards here if you're in 4-down territory. You get 7 or 8 here, you're right back where you were when it would have been 4th and manageable.
Good point.
4-man rush. Again, Mordecai pressure. He's got room to run. He's going to tuck it under, get to the sideline, reaches the ball out. Where will they say he's out? It looks like maybe a foot shy, right at the 1st down line to gain. They'll put the football down with the nose of the ball touching the 34-yard line. That was right where he needed to get.
The official is waving 1st down right now.
Without measurement, they say 1st down.
Right.
Mordecai scrambles for exactly 13 on 3rd down.
Really nice play by Tanner Mordecai to see the kind of seam open up. Cincinnati carry and run.
Previous play of the runner reaching the line to gain for a 1st down is under further review.
So the officials said he got the 1st down. Again, our line is only an approximation. They'll take another look. It looks like he easily picks it up.
Yeah.
That's not even close.
Because I don't think his right foot is out of bounds. We'll see what the angles show when it comes to out of bounds. So right foot in, left foot in, right foot still in. Yeah, that's a 1st down clearly. How about that offsides penalty then showing up? You know, that gives them that 5 extra yards. They get another shot at it. And Mordecai's good awareness. See, left foot in, right foot in. Yeah, really good play by Tanner Mordecai. Needed for this offense.
They should actually give SMU a couple of more yards on the spot. They actually got a bad spot, so this is a 1st down.
Nice
It
block
looks
by
like
Bentley, too.
As clear as could be.
After further review, the ruling on the field has been confirmed. 1st down, SMU.
So Tanner Mordecai picks up the 1st down.
You know, Mordecai, I think he's at his best when he's kind of moving around and being a little creative. He starts games a little fidgety. He's almost one of those players that once he settles into a game almost energy-wise, he actually starts to play slower, which is a good thing for him. Everything operates at a much more rhythmic pace.
We'll give one to Bentley here. Bentley, plenty of room right up the middle. Close to another 1st down for SMU, and the play not dead yet. Getting a push from his offensive line inside the 25, and they'll say he picked up 10 yards right to the 24-yard line as Brian Cook made the stop. It's another Mustang 1st down.
You got to feel okay about your run game right now if you're SMU.
Are you surprised at that?
Yeah, a little bit. This Cincinnati defense is so good against the run, and again, this is not who SMU wants to be, but the interior of the offensive line, where SMU's doing a nice job of creating some seams. Now, Cincinnati's only playing a 3-man front. You see these linebackers off the ball walking around. They are daring you to run the football inside.
Try it again, this time with Siggers. He lost the football! He went down to try and run over a Bearcat defender, coughed it up, and Cincinnati's got it. A killer turnover on the first drive of the game that was effective for the Mustangs offense. Kobe Bryant made the hit and knocked it out.
Watch Kobe Bryant come up. Drop down, shoulder goes right on that ball. It pops out of Sigger's hands. And I believe Marcus Brown is there for the recovery for this defense. Is that big 9-9? Nice job by Marcus Brown. D lineman, that's why you run to the football, right? Kobe Bryant, stick your shoulder on the football. 99 continue to run. And the Cincinnati defense is good. You get a drive going if you're SMU, your quarterback makes a play, and then number 7 says, I got y'all.
This Cincinnati defense, most in FBS in terms of total takeaways, and they are now plus 13 on the season. What a huge advantage. They're averaging +1 per game just about, as Montgomery is able to pick up on first down about 4.5. Ritter rolls right, rifles to the sideline, and he's got Tyler Scott. Well, Chris Budden, this is a team that desperately wants to get back to where they were last year. A shot at a big-time opponent in a big-time bowl game.
Yeah, the soft coverage up top. This is a nice job of understanding you're going to get an access throw to the perimeter. You move your quarterback, kick the ball to the sideline.
Sliding catch made on the near side by Trey Tucker for about 3 yards. Chris, how about the spirit of the Cincinnati sideline and the goals they still have out in front of them?
Yeah, Kobe Bryant, who had that fumble recovery, remembers the Peach Bowl last year, watching Georgia celebrate. He told me he stood out there watching the trophy presentation, watching the Bulldogs celebrate. He said, I want to have that feeling. He didn't know if he was coming back at the time. 2 days later, he said, I'm coming back to Cincinnati. I want to be a leader for this team and bring them back to be able to celebrate like he watched that Georgia team.
Well, they've got a 14-0 lead after 1 quarter of play. Might they get another chance at that same opponent in an even more important bowl game? We'll find out. No margin for error for the Bearcats. Doesn't seem to bother them. 2-touchdown lead after 1. This season, along with their contributions to universities' general scholarship funds for every field goal and extra point made, Allstate will also be donating to the American Red Cross to help with disaster relief efforts. Thank you to Allstate. We've got more great football to follow, including a big one with major college football playoff implications. Oregon, Utah, Saturday Night Football over on ABC. That game begins at 7:30 Eastern. And we're going to talk through, assuming Cincinnati can take care of business, how these other games will impact their playoff hopes. We start the second quarter with Ryan Montgomery backing his way for about 1 yard, and an Oregon loss, a Utah upset. That would certainly be one pathway for a team in Cincinnati's spot to hope there's kind of that process of elimination, the chaos that we all kind of expect in college football to help them.
Yeah, you don't think the Cincinnati fans want to tune in for that game tonight? You are rooting heavily for Utah to win that game.
3rd down and 6, though, in plus territory. Ritter, short of the first down line to gain by about 1 yard. So now with a 14-point lead.
They'll go for it.
With Alec Pierce making the catch, Luke Fickell taking a look to see exactly how much real estate his offense needs to get. A little over 1 yard, and they don't even hesitate.
Well, that's why you're okay throwing that throw. I mean, it's a 5-yard hitch route by Pierce. Hey, Coach, if we get tackled and we're short, we're still going to go for it. They're bringing their big tight end, Leonard Taylor on the field, and this is where they're at their best, when those two tight ends are in the football game. Potential zone read for this offense. Pressure off the right side of the offense. Ritter communicates it.
A keeper for Ritter. Perfect fake. And Ritter with a lane to the end zone for a touchdown.
It's a perfect example of why he's such a good player. You know, again, you get to the line of scrimmage and you just allow him to see what the defense is going to do. The zone read is the call, and he tells his offensive line, hey, fellas, that safety coming off the edge, he's mine. Don't pay attention to him. And I'll just read him as the defender. The impressive speed to run away from the defense as well.
Well, the only active quarterback in college football with over 9,000 yards passing and over 2,000 yards rushing. As we have a flag down.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, retry.
So Cincinnati called for delay, so they'll have to try the extra point again. And Desmond Ritter came into today less than 400 yards of total offense away from passing Quentin Flowers for the American Conference total yards record. You have to know his legs. Maybe not quite the threat that his arm is, but he's run for over 2,000 yards in his career. That's in the arsenal.
He even says himself, a lot of defenders sleep on how fast he is. I think the thing is, he's such a long strider, it doesn't feel fast, but he is covering so much ground. He's chewing up so much grass with each step. You know, C.J. Stroud had a really big day today. And this isn't strictly about the Heisman either. You know, I think Desmond Ritter is playing to prove to NFL scouts as well, hey, I'm worthy of a first-round pick for your organization.
That hits the upright. On the hooked kick by Bales. So it stays 20-0 Cincinnati.
And this is what I'm talking about with Ritter's smarts. He can get to the line of scrimmage, and watch how he points. Hey, Denbro, the safety, he's going to be mine. See how he hesitates? Okay, guys, listen up, listen up. That guy's mine, all right? We're still going to run our zone read. Don't count him in your numbers count. Everybody comes down, and he is just my read. He bites down on the fake to Montgomery. I take it around the edge. This is the speed that you're talking about, Bob. Look at every 2 steps of his covers 5 yards. Eyes right on that safety, Denbro. And then chew, big fella. But if he never communicates to his offensive line, he wouldn't be able to bang the drum like he is. You know, if he doesn't communicate to the offensive line might try and go out and block Denbro because they're thinking pressure. And he just says calmly, nope, guys, I got it. I'll just treat him as the read.
Last week, he already broke the all-time touchdown record for passing here at Cincinnati of his quarterback coach Gino DeGulli when he threw a couple against USF, and now he adds a 6th rushing touchdown this season. And explosive plays have been the story, also great field position taken advantage of by Cincinnati. We've got a few featured AAC games on ESPN Plus coming up tomorrow afternoon. The Bearcats volleyball team takes on Tulsa at 1 Eastern. Every Thursday, the Hilltop gives you an all-access behind-the-scenes look into the Mustang football program. Plus, with the college basketball season underway, get more than 120 men's and women's games. If you're an AAC fan, you got to have it. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/AAC. Cincinnati has taken advantage, but SMU has certainly hurt themselves.
Got to get out of their own way. Penalties, missed opportunities, big plays, giveaways. Stay in rhythm.
And Mordecai with a rhythm throw to Rashee Rice. Picks up 3.
Yeah, I think the reality too, Bob, is Cincinnati's defense is pretty darn good. You know, and their defensive coordinator, Mike Tressel, talked about how happy he was that SMU's talent was coming in here because he thought his guys had not been locked in as much as he's wanted over the last month.
Trying to bounce it outside is Bentley. Not much there. Tracked to the sideline by Brian Cook.
You know, if you're SMU right now, you got to put Robertson, 21, at the bottom of the screen. If you get one-on-one versus Sauce Gardner, you got to win your matchup. And then to the field, to your trips, you put a cover two, a two-high safety beater. And for Mordecai, just read that safety in the middle field. If he stays there, we're working on one-on-one. If he goes towards the sideline, there's going to be cover two.
Mordecai, pocket collapses again, and down he goes. Wilson Huber adds a sack to the blocked punt that set up an earlier touchdown as well. He's making a big impact.
Watch Huber, okay? He's actually off the ball linebacker-wise. Ball's going to get snapped. He's going to run a stunt from the linebacker position. You get an edge internal pressure by Curtis Brooks. Huber runs right off the edge. Sack. Physical man coverage at the line of scrimmage. Huber on that delayed blitz by the linebacker spot. Get off the field.
Ryan Montgomery tripped up at about the 30-yard line after a 51-yard punt. Nice tackle made by Bo Barker for SMU. So Alabama taking care of business, as is Cincinnati so far, with a 3-touchdown lead, a missed extra point. The only blemish for the Bearcats. Bob Wischusen here with Dan Orlovsky and Chris Budden. And a sold-out Nippert Stadium. There goes Ritter again, picking right up where he left off, out to about the 35-yard line. Isaac Slade out to Tia, brings him down after a gain of 6. It's been pretty efficient so far. 1 3 and out, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and their head coach, Luke Fickell, wanted those guys, listen, we want to come out and play with energy. We want to come out, play aggressive. Let's prove who we are, because they did not, as a coaching staff, think that they've done that over the past 3 or 4 weeks. Very little worry in what the consequence of the play was, and I think he's getting that out of his players.
Ritter's got one-on-one. There's an easy pitch and catch to Tyler Scott for a first down.
I think they're also happy. You know, looking at the playoff resume, the strength of schedule is what it is. We understand how good of a win at Notre Dame. You know, also, Bob, that 24-13 score, it wasn't that close. I mean, that was a beatdown for the great majority of that football game. I think if you're looking at this team, committee-wise, the thing that's really enticing is how complete they are, how complementary they play with each other.
Ritter, he wants another deep ball, and he overthrows Alec Pierce. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Well, the committee, to me, Dan, when they took, after Cincinnati went back and forth and got all the way up to the top 2 of the AP standings, and they dropped them outside of the top 4.
Yeah.
That told you all you needed to know, that the committee was saying you are not making the college football playoff
Without help.
Without help,
Right.
based on your own merits.
Right.
The AP writers might think you belong in the top 4 based on your own merits, but the committee is saying you're going to need the right teams to lose and the chaos that we always talk about in college football to occur for you to make the play.
Absolutely.
Here's Ford. And he picks up about 7. And to me, the nightmare scenario for Cincinnati would be Ohio State and Oregon take care of business. They secure their spots. You get an SEC championship game between Alabama and Georgia.
And Alabama loses by like 2.
And Alabama loses like a field goal at the gun, right? Or they lose a single score game. And then the debate inside that room is going to be a two-loss Alabama team that went toe-to-toe with the #1 team, or
an undefeated Cincinnati team that doesn't have the resume strength of schedule stuff that Alabama made.
Ford on 3rd down picks up the first down. Because I don't think if Georgia were to lose to Alabama in the SEC championship game, they would ever drop out of the top four.
Georgia is in.
Right, Georgia's in. If they run the table, which obviously we expect them, they were going to get to the SEC championship game. I would think with an unblemished record, they've won impressively today in a scrimmage game, and they've got Georgia Tech to wrap up next week.
Right. I think win out impressively is the thing that stands out to me in comparison to today's game. I can't I can't stress enough of how impressive this is. I did not expect this performance out of Cincinnati today versus a good SMU team. Beautiful, Ritter. My goodness, that's quarterback play.
And how about the catch to hold on to it and take that shot? It looked like the mouthpiece might have popped out of Trey Tucker's mouth, and he still held on.
Yeah, watch the pocket movement, though. Nothing's wasted. 1, 2, 3, shuffle, ball out into a tight window, hold the receiver up from the big shot from the secondary. That honestly, I think was one of the best plays I've ever seen Ritter make. I've seen a lot of his games. That is quarterbacking. The subtle pocket movement, shuffle, no wasted moment. No wasted movement in a tight window, touch. Fantastic.
Ford into the red zone.
You know, like that's a hard play for a quarterback now. No wasted movement's a big deal, right? Shuffle to the left. You see that's pocket work right there. And then just the right touch. If he throws that out in front of Tucker, it's an interception. If he throws it too far behind, it's an incompletion. If he takes too much air out of the football, he's going to get absolutely laced up by that secondary. That's the where to throw it, when to throw it, and how to throw it that I think is so important for quarterbacks.
Play action, slam, bobbled, touchdown, Alec Pierce.
Safety right when he commits to this run. Watch Pierce win at the line of scrimmage. Step out, stem inside. Big 6'3" frame. Catch it clean now. 12. Touchdown Bearcats. You just get that little ball fake, right, to get that safety with his eyes to peek up. Pierce wins at the line of scrimmage. That was the really nice part. Him winning at the line versus the corner, and then break it across the face.
A surgical performance so far here in the first half for Cincinnati. The second touchdown pass for Desmond Ritter. And the 5th on the season for Pierce.
ESPN College Football, delivered by Papa John's, is brought to you by Duluth Trading Company. Clothing and gear designed and tested to do. And Lincoln. This winter, wish for the unexpected.
That incredible artwork from SMU safety Rasan Kazadi. Taught himself how to paint. He uses it as a way to express his emotions, sometimes staying up till 4 a.m. painting with name, image, likeness. Before, he wasn't allowed to do much of it. It was just a hobby. Now that NIL has passed, he's allowed to sell the artwork, has a website and Instagram to promote it. Pretty incredible. Just taught himself in high school how to start painting.
Taught himself to paint. And it looks like that.
This stuff is impressive too. Like, he's got some real talent.
I can't paint by number.
I can give you a stick figure, and that still bad.
Massey on the run back. Reverses field. Looked like he had a lane to his left. Went back to the right. That's where all the black jerseys were. And he barely gets to the 12-yard line. Taco Bell welcomes you to the Liv Moss Student Section of the Year contest. Use hashtag Student Section Sauce to get the committee's attention. And go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. Well, today was Senior Day, the last guaranteed home game for Cincinnati in front of this student section, but looks like they're going to get another one here in a couple of weeks.
This stadium is fantastic. Side note, are you soft shell or hard shell taco guy?
Which?
No, you have to pick one. Pick one.
Soft.
Of course.
Well,
like your personality.
It more resembles my physique. Swing pass to Bentley. But I'm not picky. I mean, if it's there.
Yeah, you'll eat a brick.
Oh, I'm fine. That's right. Joel DeBlanco with the stop.
DeBlanco's such a great story for this defense. You talk to their coaches about Joel DeBlanco. Luke Fickell candidly said he wasn't sure DeBlanco was going to play here much when they initially got here, and he just got better and better and better.
And Bentley will push the pile and pick up a couple of yards, Chris.
Yeah. Dan DeBlanco's a guy who is in his 6th year as a senior. So last year he didn't know if he was coming back. So he participated in a senior day last year and then again this year. Just, why not have two?
And Luke Fickell just raves about his perseverance. Again, saying, I didn't know if he was really going to be a player when we initially got here, and, worked his way up through special teams. He finds the football really well, and just a guy that really believed in himself and had the perseverance that, coach, I can play, and he's proven it every single week.
And now a false start. Mordecai clapped to try to get Rashee Rice lined up.
False start. Offense number 71.
And it seemed like Jalen Thomas's left tackle heard the clap and then backed up.
Yeah, exactly. The communication part on the road. Mordecai trying to give signals to his guys at the bottom of the screen.
Prior to the false start.
And that left tackle, Jalen Thomas, is going to kind of hear
out of the half
and jump up. I also think we're back in the student section as well, and those kids are rocking right now.
Well, they actually are going to credit Sonny Dykes with a timeout call prior to the snap and prior to the false start. So that will save SMU the 5 yards. We are back with a look at today's hardest working player, brought to you by Duluth Trading Company, and a great start for Desmond Ridder.
Smarts and speeds. So tight end pushes up, safety sits. You've got the leverage on the post, and a perfect throw by Desmond Ridder to start this game for this Bearcat offense. How about the speed? Little zone read on 4th and 1. Big fellas, I've got that safety coming down. I'll put it in Montgomery's belly. I out-leverage him. Now you're going to see me, 6'3", 215 pounds, run away from the defense. Some smarts early on and then some speed out of Desmond Ridder's game so far today.
And now where is the pressure coming from and who on 3rd down and 7? It's a 4-man rush. Mordecai sacked again inside the 5. Curtis Brooks again. The third down sack for that Cincinnati pass rush.
Yeah, and it's coverage with a stunt by the defensive line. Watch the defensive line here. It's called an ET. The end goes inside first, Myjai Sanders, and then the defensive tackle wraps around. You get pressure from both sides. Sanders is falling off. Mordecai's got nowhere to throw this football, and that's how you hunt as a defensive line. Good job. That's what it looks like when your rush matches your coverage defensively.
Line drive kick, returnable from Montgomery from midfield. Makes a couple of Mustangs miss. Spins down inside the 30 and muscles his way close to the 25-yard line before they finally get him on the ground. Great field position after a 26-yard return for Montgomery. Let's check in with Matt again.
Okay.
But the chaos that Kirk Herbstreit keeps on talking about, he thinks is going to benefit this Cincinnati team. That would qualify. As Trey Tucker gets to about the 20-yard line, he picks up 5. I heard that competing thought process earlier today on game day. Kirk Herbstreit saying if Cincinnati runs the table, they will get in. College football always produces chaos. The chaos will happen. They will get in. Lee Corso said, even if Cincinnati runs the table, I don't care what chaos there is or could be. They shouldn't get in, period, because they're not in a Power 5 league and they don't have the resume.
Yeah, obviously Coach Corso's an absolute legend and tremendous amount of respect for him. I think this defense is lights out in Cincinnati, man. And I think the win against Notre Dame speaks for itself. They are hammering a good football team in SMU today as well. I think their defense gives them the chance to beat anybody, Bob.
Here's the thing, though. When these teams are discussed in that committee room, there are people in that committee room that I think do lean in Coach Corso's direction.
Have the same thought process.
100%.
Sure, and I respect that.
That's the debate, and you know that debate, I mean, both of those schools of thought are going to be in that room arguing back and forth.
If that's a debate, then I need to be in the room because
you should be.
You know, I just There's no way that you can watch this football team play week after week after week and say, hey, they can't go beat Georgia, or they can't beat
Snap infraction. Offense number 56.
Oregon, or they
5-yard
can't beat
penalty.
Alabama. There's no
First
way.
down.
There's no way. Someone has got to tell me why. Don't tell me because they played Navy. That's not a good enough reason. You got to tell me why that you don't think this team can beat one of those other teams. Because if you do, then you're telling me you think they're one of the 4 best teams in America.
That is exactly the reason they will give you. If Cincinnati runs the table and they win games impressively all the way through, as they have done, and they don't make the playoff, especially if Alabama were to lose to Georgia in the SEC championship game and not drop out, that would be the reason. Here's Ford. And he's down to about the 17-yard line. I mean, look, there's a variety of different points of view in that committee room.
Yeah.
All different kinds of backgrounds, all different kinds of perspectives. And I do believe that, you know, that thought process of Lee Corso is going to be represented in that conversation.
Yes.
It's not just going to be, oh, Cincinnati ran the table. Let's put a group of 5 team in just because we haven't done it before. And
I think this, you know, a lot of the times this kind of originated with UCF years ago, right? When they had their incredible.
Ritter, look at end zone, lobs it. And just missing Leonard Taylor over the shoulder. It'll be second down.
You get man-to-man coverage, you move Taylor over, and it's really like an inside 3-receiver slot fade, so to speak. You're trying to get a little bit of a rub. It's almost perfect by Ritter, just a little bit over that left shoulder to Leonard Taylor. Just missed for this offense.
Pardon me, third down and 12
I like
at the
that
17.
shot. I like that shot on 2nd and 1, 2nd and long. Well, that's smart, man. You got 3rd and 4th down to continue to go for this.
Ritter, little screen. Ford lost his footing as he tried to cut back, and now it'll be 4th down and about 10. And Luke Fickell will take the 3. As Shane Haley was there to bring down Jerome Ford.
I was making the point of the UCF. UCF years ago, when they were a juggernaut offensively, really was that initial 12-0 team that's not going to get in. I'd say the 2 things that are different is, 1, Cincinnati is better at the line of scrimmage on both sides than that UCF team. 2, they are significantly better defensively than UCF was. And I think that is the difference between this team and some of those UCF teams that were in that conversation 5 years ago.
Alex Bales has his kick blocked. So SMU saves 3 on special teams. Is that Jahari Rogers that came through and got a hand on the kick of Alex Bales? Let's see. Number 4, speed rush from the edge, gets the block. What a top-ranked boxing card we have tonight in Las Vegas. The main event, 12 rounds, super fight between Terrence Bud Crawford and Showtime Sean Porter. The prelims start at 7 Eastern on ESPN2, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus, followed by the main card at 9 Eastern on ESPN Plus pay-per-view in English and Spanish. To get ESPN Plus, go to ESPNplus.com or download the ESPN app. As an incompletion to Rashee Rice starts off this possession for SMU. And got to give credit where credit is due. That was Terrence Newman that got a hand up to block the field goal to save 3 points for the Ponies.
Tanner Mordecai needs to settle his feet down. He's so fidgety in the pocket right now. He is playing in a hurry.
A swing one to Rice. Only picks up about 3. And it's not like there are these Star Wars blitzes coming from everywhere, right?
No.
These are at times 4, no more than 5-man rushes that are getting home, and he looks like he's looking at the rush.
Yeah, as a quarterback, you always want to play fast, but never in a hurry. And I always say, watch their feet and watch their eyes. And right now, his feet are all over the place. Man-to-man coverage out of Cincinnati again. Look for your tight end.
He's out of the pocket again on 3rd down, extending the play. Floats one off the fingertips of Rice and incomplete. Mordecai had him, missed him, and it's another 3 and out Again, pressure coming from Curtis Brooks.
There's that four-man rush that you're talking about. Brooks, Sanders around the edge. Good job getting outside the pocket. Make this throw on the road. For your team to have a chance to make that throw, Tanner Mordecai's got to make that throw. It's a tough one. You're on the road, full speed, man coverage. You got to get it up over somebody. But to come into this environment, to this stadium, to win, you got to make that throw to get your offense some momentum.
7 possessions and 6 3-and-outs. Fair catch up against the sideline by Montgomery. Let's head back to Matt.
If I was ranking the suits right now on that studio show, it would go Matt Berry, Acho Galloway.
Well, Desmond Ridder is closing in on Quentin Flowers' all-time total yards record.
You got to get there today?
In AAC history. Might get there before halftime. He's looking for a big one again. Instead, it's a check down to Jerome Ford, and he makes a man miss. Gets to the sideline and out of bounds at the 44-yard line of SMU. Picks up 23.
Listen to your feet as a quarterback. Watch this, okay? 1, 2, 3. Hitch, hitch, not there, ball out. When you get to your second hitch and that ball can't get downfield, get it out to your completion. That's when a quarterback is listening to his feet tell him where and when to throw.
Over the middle. Walling off the coverage and making another contested catch is Trey Tucker. Boy, at 5'9", he just boxes guys out and makes really tough catches.
This ball comes out of Ritter's hands so quickly. Eyes, ball's out now. Tucker's just making that bend. And how about those hands catch you talked about, right? How about that kind of float in the air hands catch?
Ridder again looking for the end zone. Off the helmet of Chase Cromartie, who was doing his best to stay with Trey Tucker. Good coverage.
Watch how quickly this ball is out of Ritter's hands. Watch Trey Tucker in the slot right now. The ball is out right now. He's not even looking back for that ball. You know, that's that anticipation. That's that timing of understanding where a guy's going to go or going to be, and you're throwing to where he's going to get to, not where he is. Plenty of time here if you're Desmond Ridder. You could punch or run if you like this look defensively.
There's Ford. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Is there anything that guys in the NFL look for or would think would be more important than a quarterback's ability to throw with that anticipation, right? You just can't beat guys in the NFL unless you can do that.
You watch that cat in New England right now?
He's pretty good.
Right? I mean, that's what he does so well is, you know, I mentioned it before, when to throw, where to throw, and how to throw it. There's different types of throws. And I think Ridder, again, this is a really impressive performance by him today. Just the process of it. You get all-out pressure. Find your one-on-one matchup. Now does SMU check, right? You got to see if SMU is now going to check from all-out pressure to cover too high. And Ridder checks again. Cat and mouse game.
And a timeout's going to be called from Cincinnati's sideline as the play clock with that chess game going back.
Cincinnati.
And 4th was winding
Takes
down.
their first charge, time out of the half.
This is what I would say if I was offensive coach for Cincinnati.
This is the 30-second timeout.
Desmond, let's hold that. I know you see it. I know you see the pressure coming. Let's wait till there's like 6 or 7 seconds on the play clock. Then we make our check and SMU doesn't have their time to adjust it. He's had a fantastic afternoon so far. Desmond Ridder showed up early on in this football game. They took a shot the first play, and he made a beautiful throw on the post. And then they go, you know what, we're going to trust you at the line of scrimmage to navigate this run game. Zone read, safety bites, give you the ability to run away from the defense. He's moved the pocket so well. He's had fantastic placement on play action pass. Touchdown pass to Alec Pierce. I mean, everything that you want out of a quarterback, he's shown tonight athletically, decision-making, ball placement. You look at some of the quarterbacks in the draft this year, you know, I think right now Kenny Pickett is probably the #1. Ritter's going to be in that conversation for the second kid. We don't know who that second kid is. I think Kenny Pickett's one right now. But I think Ritter's going to have the chance to prove he belongs in that first round conversation.
After the timeout, here comes the blitz on third down. Gets it to the outside, and a good one-on-one tackle. And Pierce couldn't even hold on to the football. That was Jahari Rogers, the true freshman, who came up and knocked it away from Alec Pierce.
Yeah, nice job by Rogers. Press, bail, now drive the receiver. Bang, bang, play. A little bit of an uncharacteristic drop out of Alec Pierce. Such the sure-handed receiver. But let's credit the true freshman, Jahari Rogers. Him and Bryce McMorris starting as freshman corners outside, challenged by their defensive coordinator, Jim Levitt, to go play really well today. And they've had some moments. Good break on the ball.
After the last field goal attempt for Cincinnati was blocked from 38, here's Bales to try again. This one away clean, but no good. Pushed it right. So that's a couple of three-point opportunities that the Bearcats leave on the field.
Bales struggled pregame. I was down talking with Chris pregame. He was kicking the other way. But right around that 35-yard field goal range, he had missed 5 or 6 in a row. And I went to Chris and said, man, he is struggling right now. And you could see mentally he was in a bad spot.
What I want to hear is that halftime conversation where that group makes the case, as Matt Barry said, that if Notre Dame keeps on winning, are they in a conversation with Cincinnati? Because if I'm a Bearcats fan, of all of the teams that I could possibly get leapfrogged by, I can't get left over by the team I beat.
No, that's a lie. That's wrong.
That can't happen.
That's a wrong, because 2 weeks ago, the College Football Playoff Committee said we'll do whatever we want when they took Michigan and placed them ahead of Michigan State a week after Michigan State had beaten them. So while I don't think that Notre Dame should be ahead of them, the committee's also already shown people we don't care. We don't care about the head-and-head because we've already done it once.
If I'm a Bearcats fan and I watch the college football playoff reveal,
you're going to be like the baby on The Incredibles. Your head is just
would explode. Absolutely, as Siggers will, it looks like, end the first half with Cincinnati on top 27-0. Dominant first half performance by Desmond Ridder and the Bearcats. The first time SMU has been shut out in a half this season. Time for the halftime report. Back to Matt.
Chip Drive Game of the Week.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Papa John's and the American Conference on ESPN. Set for the start of the third quarter here at Nippert Stadium. All Cincinnati in the first half. Every game, of course, for the Bearcats is a must-win. They have to stay perfect to have a chance at the college football playoff, as right now they are just on the outside looking in, and they'll start the third quarter with the ball. Returnable kick for Trey Tucker. And a pretty good return with a flag down out to about the 33-yard line.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 36. Half the distance of the goal from the spot of the foul. First down, Cincinnati.
So Will Adams gets called for the hold. Again, Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Chris Budden here at Cincinnati. Well, you said it straight out when we talked with the Cincinnati coaches this week. Style points matter. Right? The way that you win these games matters not quite as much as if you win them, but almost as much.
That's a big deal because, first of all, Cincinnati has been a team over the past month that has not dominated. They have not played their best brand of football, and so for them to come out and have the half that they did is a big deal, specifically defensively, how well they've played, and then offensively, they really haven't skipped a beat outside of a couple red zone stops, but this has been as impressive a half I feel that they've had since their Notre Dame win.
Start off the second half with a dive by Jerome Ford. As we take a look at our first half stats brought to you by PlayStation. 290 total yards to 73, 1 for 7 on third down for SMU. It's not surprising the score reads what it reads.
It's exactly what Luke Fickell, the head coach for Cincinnati, wanted. He wanted his team to come out and play dominating a brand of football on every level, line of scrimmage, skill position guys, back end, and they've done exactly that.
Hand it off again, breaking tackles Jerome Ford. And he's got a first down, tripped up in the open field at about the 23-yard line. Did pick up 10. And Chris Budden spoke with both coaches. Chris?
Yeah, Luke Fickell told me attributes the fast start to some of the emotions at the beginning of the game, part of that being senior day. He said also we've had a lot of challenges over the last couple weeks. It's part of the reason that we haven't played our best. He said the one thing that we haven't done this season, play a full 4 quarters, and he was a little concerned on those 2 missed field goals that they might not do that in the second half. So his goal at halftime, let me see full 4 quarters.
Ritter, Tucker again. And he's got about 15 yards and another Cincinnati first down. Well, you talked about last week's game. They were at a dominant performance going against USF, and then the style points weren't there at the end.
Yeah, they led up defensively. Even their defensive coordinator, Mike Tressel, talked about, we kind of relaxed a little bit in the second half. Some young guys got exposed a little bit with poor discipline, and USF scored a ton of points. And it's to Coach Fickell's point that he shared with Chris is, let's show the type of team we are for the full course of 60 minutes and how dominant we can play.
Ritter well protected, on time, close to the 45-yard line to Tyler Scott.
Coach Fickell, you see the margin of victory different, almost 30-12. And Coach Fickell even talked about, like, we've kind of ridden a wave. We've had some highs and we've had some lows and highs and lows. And I think he's really done a nice job of kind of managing all that. We often lose sight of these are 18 to 22-year-old kids. I say it every week, and sometimes you play your B game and not your A game. And I think riding that wave for this football team has taught them a lot of mental lessons.
Brandon Crossley finally gets Ryan Montgomery down at the 40-yard line of SMU, but that's another 16 yards.
Now, good push by this offensive line. Watch Montgomery split flow, hesitation, sprint off a tackle, and then let's get some extra yards. Montgomery had a big week last week. Really sealed the game, so to speak, with his performance and runaway, and he's a nice change of pace back to Jerome Ford. I started this game, we talked about this offensive line, Bob, and how technically they had to be better with their hands and better with their feet, and they've been that in the run game so far today.
Ritter wants a shot again, looking for Tyler Scott, in the inside the 5-yard line, Trey Tucker, and he almost had it. Are they going to say he made the catch? He did, all the way down inside the 5 at the 1-yard line. Another terrific catch by Tucker for 39 yards.
Watch the timing. Trying to take advantage of quarters coverage. Ball's already out. Tucker's just making his stop on the route. It's a perfect throw. That corner's trying to overlap. There has been so many examples today of the timing from Desmond Ritter today. That ball was out 5 yards before Tucker ever looked for it.
Ford up the middle, flag down. It is a touchdown. Let's check the marker.
Coming from back there, the back official, it makes me think delay a game.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 11. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's the tight end, Leonard Taylor.
That's weird for that official standing underneath the upright to throw that flag. He's usually responsible to throw for something, delay a game. The referee behind usually is able to see any kind of false start.
Ford, trick play. Thrown into the end zone, and guess who's got it for the touchdown? Desmond Ritter. Jordan Jones on the end-around option pass. Wide receiver to quarterback. And the full arsenal on display for Cincinnati.
tosses it to the slot. Ritter leaks out. It's man coverage. No one is left there. Jordan Jones with the touchdown pass to Desmond Ritter. A little bit of like a Philly special, the Super Bowl years ago. Like Denbrock, their offensive coordinator, unloading the bag this afternoon.
34-0 Cincinnati as they continue to try and make the statement we know they need to make to the College Football Playoff Committee.
It started with the big play. Beautiful touch throw, anticipation to Trey Tucker. You get the penalty, it doesn't matter. We'll go trick play, toss it to our receiver. He'll kick it to our superstar quarterback. Bearcats big at home.
Back with our Aflac trivia question. Desmond Ritter with 40 career wins as a starting quarterback, 5th most in FBS history. Who holds the record?
Oh. Easy.
You gonna throw the name out there maybe before we put it on the screen this time?
I know him. I played with him.
I think there's multiple guys that are in the category here that you might have played with. You played with a lot of guys. Ryan Massey on the return, breaking tackles, and now he just runs out of room, shy of the 15-yard line.
I wish this Cincinnati team played hard.
So Dan Orlovsky for the Aflac trivia question answer has narrowed it down to one of the
Kellen Moore.
750 quarterbacks you played with.
Kellen Moore.
All right. I think you're right. Kellen Moore, very well done.
Every week, guys, like the sun rising, I get the Aflac right.
Which of these guys did you not play with?
I actually hated David Green because he was drafted ahead of me. Kellen Moore played with him. He's going to be a head coach relatively soon here. Fantastic offensive line. Ritter, close.
Mordecai into traffic, incomplete. Flag down on the pass intended for Rashee Rice. And this is going to be a push-off, it looks like, on Rashee Rice as he was trying to get free from Kobe Bryant.
Pass interference. Offense, number 21. Half the distance of the goal. First down.
You're going to get Robertson. Watch him hit him at the bottom of the screen now. Watch this slot defender, Hicks. He's going to go in and hit him, push him, and get in his way. All Robertson has to do is get there, then avoid contact with Hicks or Brian Cook, and then that flag won't get thrown.
So the pick doesn't work, and then the running play to Ulysses Bentley doesn't work either, as that's a loss back to the 5-yard line of a couple of yards. Darian Beavers made the tackle.
Beavers, such a versatile player. See how he does a good job of kind of extending and scraping over the top and meeting Bentley right outside that tackle. Beavers is such an important part of this defense. Linebacker on ball, off the ball, inside, outside. They'll blitz him. A big-time defensive player.
Mordecai to throw from the end zone. And wings it to the sideline with Robertson in the area. And it's now going to be 3rd down and 19 from the 5.
Really been the story of the game so far for this SMU offense. The quarterback has not seen the field well. He's played hurried. They're missing their big-time receiver, Danny Gray, and this pass rush for Cincinnati has been outstanding.
Incomplete. And Tanner Mordecai is a top 10 quarterback this season in the country in touchdown passes, points responsible for, passing yards per game, completions per game, total offense. He's now 8 of 14 for 23 yards in this game.
This offense hangs 41 a game on teams. 41 a game. I don't care if you're playing against Staples High School in Westport, Connecticut. That is a lot of points, and they are getting absolutely dominated by this Bearcat defense.
Wobbly end-over-end kick, returnable from midfield, dropped by Montgomery, picks it back up, and still gets the ball in plus territory to the SMU 42-yard line before he's brought down.
Welcome back to Cincinnati. They lead at 34-0. There you're looking at Sarah Ritter. That is Desmond's mom enjoying a senior night tonight. And there was such a fun moment when Desmond Ritter caught this touchdown pass. He went back up and found his mom in the stands right behind him. And he said, "Hey, Mom, I caught one." They have such a close relationship. She had Desmond when she was in high school. Desmond has been open about growing up, being so close in age, and how they're best friends. His grandma taught him how to throw a football, and how fitting it was being raised by two women that now he's a girl dad to Leighton.
It's an awesome story. His grandmother should write a book on how to throw a football, because the kid can do it pretty good.
That was his first touchdown reception. And for the third time in the game, Cincinnati starts in SMU territory with a Jerome Ford run for about 6 yards.
Think about how different this program is with Desmond Ritter's time when he started here and to now. And when Luke Fickell and their offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock got here, and he drives down to go meet with Ritter, are you still going to stay committed? And that was a team that was trying to figure out blind faith. They talked about, they asked those kids to have blind faith, and they were fortunate that there wasn't such a thing as maybe a transfer portal, or that they didn't have to go big game quarterback hunting.
Ritter tried to flip one out in the flat to Josh Wiley, the tight end, but Jimmy Phillips read it and knocked it down, so it will be 3rd down and 4.
It's had a good afternoon, but Luke Fickell said, we're a little bit lucky that the portal wasn't back then, because we didn't think we had to go chase a quarterback, because you couldn't, nor did we lose a guy because there was a coaching change. And he mentioned guys like Joel DeBlanco and Dylan O'Quinn and McConnell Brooks. So many guys are such an important part to this program that are seniors.
Picking up the first down is 4. Well, you still have to have vision, though, to get a player like Desmond Ritter to come to your program. He was 175 pounds when he was recruited to Cincinnati. Remember, recruited by Tommy Tuberville.
Right. Exactly.
And the now current head coach of the Bengals, Zach Taylor, was the offensive coordinator that famously saw Desmond Ritter at a camp and told the video guys, just film him.
Yep.
I don't really care about these other prospects. I want maximum video of this young man. And Center honed in on Desmond Ritter, and even after the coaching change, Luke Fickell re-recruited him.
Right.
He stayed. It's worked out as Ford picks up about 3.
When we were talking with their offensive coordinator, Mike Denbrock, yesterday, we said, did you envision this out of Desmond Ritter? And he looked at us with almost a look. He said, of course not. And he said he was a chunk of clay when we got here. And, the thing that they loved was he was an absolute perfectionist and incredibly competitive, but no one foresaw 81 touchdown passes, the most in school history, him being so good as a freshman, player of the year, and now kind of, again, trending towards Heisman conversation, first-round pick, and having this team into the conversation of a college football playoff team. I don't think anybody envisioned that, no.
Ford brought down about 2.5 yards shy of a first down.
This is, I love when quarterbacks do this. I'm not a big rah-rah quarterback guy, but I'm a guy that I love when guys get locked in pregame and have a very clear message. And I think when you've gone through what Desmond Ritter has gone through, and you've had the journey you've had, your words matter to your team. When you talk, your team is absolutely locked in on the things that you are saying.
Ford. Very close to a first down. Might be a half-yard shot. So it'll be 4th down and about a foot just outside the 18-yard line of SMU. And here comes the Go For It group. Again, stop made by Delano Robinson, who has led or co-led this defense in tackles 12 of their last 19 games. Kept him just short of the line to gain, so it's 4th down. Right up the middle. That looks to be good enough for a 1st down for Jerome Ford. And it is.
Like how Ford just got that ball and went. No hesitation, no dancing. Talked about how big of an impact he brings for this offense and the difference maker at tailback that he is.
And now Chuck McClellan will come in.
One-on-one up top, Bob. If you want Pierce one-on-one, you got him.
Ritter looks that way. He's going to take the one-on-one shot. Back of the end zone. Touchdown. Dan, you called it. Ritter saw it. And Alec Pierce caught it.
Just watch Pierce, okay? Set, now go! You got your defensive back, McMorris, just to hesitate. How about the throw again? Watch the full extension by Pierce. Back shoulder, go up, use that 6'3" frame, and then tuck it into your belly. All the young kids watching at home, you see how he catches it and brings it immediately into his body for protection. That's what happens when you have a quarterback and receiver that see it the same way. I got man coverage. You expect that back shoulder ball. Pierce is such a great story that has come on and developed pass receiving skills. He's become a special player for this offense.
Toss in the fact he's got a 3.8 GPA in mechanical engineering. And Luke Fickell said, you know what, there's no substitute for intelligence. If you get a really intelligent player, you can do a lot with him. Man, Alec Pierce has developed into a top-notch college wide receiver.
One-on-one, down in the red zone, 6'3", back shoulder, Bearcats, 41 nugget at home.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Papa John's, as we continue Dr. Pepper's championship drive game of the week. 41-0, Cincinnati making a statement, and more important, football to follow. Most important, Oregon, Utah, Saturday Night Football on ABC at 7:30 Eastern, as Oregon is one of those roadblocks potentially to the college football playoff for this Cincinnati team, as they will pooch a short kick to the sideline. That's a shank, and that is going to go out of bounds as Cincinnati almost grabbed it to steal a possession. Although Desmond Ritter, you don't have to steal any more possessions for him. He's doing just fine as is with a 41-0 lead.
First play of the game that started. You got a sudden change. He sees quarters coverage. Tight end runs the in route. He throws just a perfect post over the top. Then we saw him in the run game. Safety commits down, zone read. Impressive speed to run away from the defense at 6'3", 215. Again, given the ball, now we'll just kick it to him. We could throw it, he could run it, he could catch it. One-on-one down to his favorite red zone target, Alec Pierce. Just an absolute perfect back shoulder fade route. Desmond Ritter, I've seen Desmond Ritter play about a dozen games over the last 4 years. It is the best performance I have seen him have, absolutely. When it comes to
on the deep, the out of bounds spot, 1st down.
It's good. 60% rush yardage than SMU has in total yards. But just impressed by the way the balls come out of his hands, the accuracy, the getting it out on time, the type of throw, the pocket movement, the athleticism. Really, really impressed by every part of his game today.
Smoke screen to Robertson, immediately brought down by Deshaun Pace, whose dad began teaching him football when he was 3 years old. He was playing by the age of 4.
Leads their team in interceptions, Pace does, really at kind of that linebacker level. And he's been somewhat of a spot player early on in the season.
He's got 4 on the season. And there is a pass defense for Darian Beavers. Knocked it away from Austin Upshaw. Well, this is the 10th possession of the game for SMU. They have had one possession that has gone more than 3 plays.
And that ended up in a turnover. that possession was the Kobe Bryant forced fumble on Siggers.
Toss in a blocked punt that gave Cincinnati a short field as well. This offense that has been terrific this year only has 6 first downs. Looking for one here. Mordecai. For the first time in the game, he is able to find Calcaterra. And he does pick up a first down, a 3rd down conversion for SMU, and a gain of 14.
Yeah, man coverage, drift away. Calcaterra win at the top. It's a good throw by Tanner Mordecai. Nice to see Calcaterra back playing college football, too. Such a fan of his. Early on in his career at Oklahoma, fighting back from the concussion symptoms and issues that he fought against, becoming one of the better players on this offense.
And off to Siggers in the secondary. Down to the 32-yard line of Cincinnati for 12 more.
I've been around a lot of defensive guys, okay? These guys do not want to give up points right now. They take pride in trying to pitch another shutout.
Siggers again, cuts back. And he's down to the 26-yard line. 6 more yards on first down. Another tackle for Jacob Dingle. Jawan Briggs in on the stop as well.
Has there even been a ball thrown to Sauce Gardner's way? And again, Robertson's a good receiver. Bottom of the screen, one-on-one.
Mordecai doesn't even look that direction. Instead, he finds the underneath throw to Rashee Rice. And Rice has the first down. Is this the best pair of cover corners that you have seen in the games we've called this year? This is 2 NFL corners, Sauce Gardner and Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, it's the best defense I've seen on tape this year. The best defense that I've called a game for.
We're going to have Georgia next week.
Right.
So that's a good opportunity for you to compare this group to that group. And
can I reserve, reserve judgment?
You can make an adjustment next week.
Corner-wise, Kobe Bryant and Gardner are the best corners that I have seen. And here's the thing, Bob. They're lining up and playing press man now. They're playing the hardest type of coverage.
Mordecai, street yard ball, as he is trying to direct traffic downfield, and he short hops one to the 7-yard line. That turned into a jailbreak, and Roderick Daniels came free, but Mordecai couldn't get it to him.
These corners are so good. Mordecai trying to make a play. That ball definitely hops. You know, talking with Mike Tressel and Luke Fickle about these corners, talking about Kobe Bryant, he was like, man, the best thing about Kobe is he's curbed his competitive spirit.
Very slow developing floating screen to Rice. He is hit. And then the rest of the Bearcats rally to the football to bring him down for a loss of about 5.
Trying to get a little swing screen to the perimeter. Gosh, that is a big hit. Is that Brian Cook coming up and making that shot?
And Brian Cook still down after delivering that blow. Hopefully he just got the wind knocked out of him. So while the trainers take a look at Brian Cook, a few of our featured AAC games coming up on ESPN Plus. Tomorrow afternoon, the Bearcats volleyball team will take on Tulsa at 1 Eastern. Every Thursday, the Hilltop gives you an all-access behind-the-scenes look into the Mustang football program. And now college basketball season underway. They'll have more than 120 men's and women's games on ESPN Plus, the AAC channel. So if you're an AAC fan, you got to have it. Sign up today, espnplus.com/AAC. So 3rd and 15 after the loss on 2nd down. Mordecai bobbles the snap, looks downfield, throws one with flags down near the tackle box, well wide of Dylan Goffney. And we have another injured pass rusher for Cincinnati. That's Curtis Brooks, slow to get up. And looks like he's holding his right arm.
He got held. Brooks is going to get held by Osborne.
There is no foul on the play. It's 4th down.
The officials disagree.
Yeah, that's incorrect.
Who knows if they would have accepted the penalty or not. As we could take another look, watch big number 92 on the pass rush.
That's 51. Just watch him. Watch the left arm tug right here. It's 100% to hold.
So a 44-yard field goal attempt for Blake Mazza to try and get SMU at least on the board. He's 11 of 13 this season. And it's blocked salt in the wound as it rolls down to the 20-yard line.
I think it was Brian Cook who just went out a couple plays previous.
Might be Arquan Bush. Let's see. That's him on the end. He just untouched. Gets around the edge.
You're right, it's Bush.
And gets the block. And that preserves the shutout for a defense that has been pretty dominant from wall to wall today, start to finish.
What a nice job by Bush, kind of bending on that, right? Kind of bend, and then you jump across the kicker to make sure you don't hit. Good call.
So with 2.5 minutes to go, still in the third quarter, Evan Prater gets a chance to play quarterback, and they'll run it with Tyler Scott. He's brought down about a yard shy of the line of scrimmage, so he loses one. So the redshirt freshman, Evan Prater. My hair envy is real.
He's got some lettuce popping out of the helmet right there.
40-2 as a high school starting quarterback. Our ESPN recruiting guys had him as a top 20 pocket passing prospect. And maybe he's the heir apparent to Desmond Ritter. He'll get a chance to play here, handing one off to Chuck McClelland. 2 yards shy of a first down.
It obviously tells you that Luke Fickell feels we've made this statement necessary. A little bit of respect to Sonny Dykes and their program as well, but Luke Fickell's come out and said, hey, 3/4 of football, we're up 41-0, have completely controlled and dominated this football game. We now get to rest our guys and look a little bit ahead.
Former Ohio Mr. Football, the 4th Ohio Mr. Football to play at Cincinnati, Evan Prater will hand one off again to McClelland. Makes a man miss, bounces off the pile, and easily picks up the first down. Chase Cromartie made the stop. Minute to go in the third quarter. And this is up to the moment the top 6 teams in the college football playoff rankings today. Michigan cruising against Maryland, obviously Ohio State and Georgia no issue, and Alabama, they have pushed to a 2-touchdown lead, so none of that chaos that, you know, Cincinnati needs and wants looks like is going to happen,
right,
at least to this point. But if Oregon were to lose to Utah, I don't think anybody would describe that as chaos. Utah's
especially
tough
on the road. Our whole fourth quarter is going to be about setting, for Cincinnati fans, is going to be setting the table.
Full start. Offense number 60. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's really going to be setting the table for what do they need. You know, hey, if Alabama wins out, what happens? Or if Alabama loses, then Oregon will go down the road and explain exactly what Cincinnati needs to do, or what they need outside of, okay, you got to win your own football games. But what do they need? Because there's a couple teams behind them that they got to pay attention to, and then there's a couple teams ahead of them that they're going to need some of that help from, and that'll be the whole fourth quarter, is just kind of laying out all the potentials with only 1 week to go in the regular season.
Wobbly throw from Prater is short hopped. To me, Dan, I think they need one of 3 things. Obviously, they would benefit greatly from an Ohio State loss or from an Oregon loss. And those are the teams that are a couple of spots in front of them. Or if Georgia beats Alabama convincingly in the SEC championship game, if we get there. Right. If Georgia wins by 21,
right,
that would be huge for Cincinnati, because that might be the ammunition to move Alabama out and move Cincinnati in. You agree?
Absolutely. I think you want Georgia to hammer.
Prater on the run, runs into his own man. It stays in bounds all the way down to the 27-yard line, it looks like, before he was bumped out by Ethan Wright, his own running back. But it was senior day. Desmond Ritter was part of those festivities, and he has had on the field it's senior day to remember. Beautiful walkout with his daughter. A beautiful performance by the senior. He's done everything in his career. He's certainly done everything tonight. Their leader. With Cincinnati on top, 41-0. As we start the fourth quarter, we continue Dr. Pepper's championship drive game of the week. And a little urging going on while we were away from Sonny Dykes on his sideline. Dan, I guess just asking his team to give him 15 minutes of prideful football.
Well, remember, when we talked to him, he said the next step for our program is to go win a game like this one. That we got to go beat a team that people really respect in Cincinnati. And obviously it has not gone their way on the road today. And I think Sonny Dykes is going, I don't care who's playing for Cincinnati. You got 15 minutes to show me and show your teammates and yourself that you're going to still play hard. And that matters in college football, man. He has done such a good job of building this program up since he's become their head coach, and they're headed in the right direction. Like I said, they're taking it on the chin today, but this film, the next 14 minutes, is going to matter to everybody in this program.
High snap. Prater maintains his composure, gets out of the pocket, and checks it down to the sideline to McClellan. But they'll say he was out of bounds. So it's 3rd down and 9.
Again, they score 41 a game. They've scored 50 3 times this year. You know, for them to score in the 20s is somewhat of a bad day offensively. They scored in the 20s against.
And their loss to Memphis.
Memphis, right?
They put 37 on the board against a Houston team.
Yep.
That's ranked in the top 20. Quarterback draw. Prater. Little dead leg. And spins down to the 21-yard line. Let's see if Luke Fickell sends out the field goal crew. Or they'll go for it. Let Prater run another play on 4th and 4. And it will be Cincinnati going for it on 4th down.
Prater has got, he looks a little bit like Desmond Ridder. You know, Ridder's 6'4", 215 pounds. Prater 6'4", 200 pounds. You know, physically, he's got those long, lean limbs that look like Desmond Ridder, kind of 2018, 2019 version.
Little sprint out and a 1st down hookup. 4th down conversion to Will Pauling. So redshirt freshman to true freshman.
Motion him, you get man. Prater sprints out. Good job getting his shoulders turned. And an easy conversion to Pauling. Prater likes it. Good job by Prater. See, sprinting out to the left and how he gets his left shoulder pointed towards the target where he wants to throw. Really good fundamentals by the redshirt freshman.
High snap again, and off Ethan Wright to the 11-yard line. Pick up a 4. Now, you had a good idea. We should take a look at each team that we think is a significant threat to either stay in front of Cincinnati or jump over them.
Yep.
And what Cincinnati has to have happen to be a college football playoff team with those different scenarios. Maybe you want to go all the way back up. I have a hard time believing that Notre Dame can do it. They beat Notre Dame head-to-head. But Notre Dame being 10th, are they still a threat?
Is Notre Dame 9 this week or 10? Okay.
Yep, because Wake Forest was 10th, and they're no longer a threat, obviously.
And their schedule's not getting any better. It's not like they have a championship game that they're going to be able to play to, be a landmark win. I think there's only 2 teams in the top 10 that have better wins than Cincinnati. One would be Oregon on the road against Ohio State, and then Ohio State today against Michigan State. But the win against Notre Dame, I think Cincinnati has to pay attention to Alabama. And I think they have to pay attention to Oregon out of the Pac-12. Someone from the Big Ten is in. That is happening. And you got to pay attention to Oklahoma State behind you in the Big 12, who still has to play Oklahoma. And you still have to pay attention to Notre Dame because the committee put Michigan ahead of Michigan State the week after they lost to them.
And this looks like a false start called against Cincinnati.
False start. Offense number 82. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
The one caveat I want to throw out there from a Big Ten standpoint, to say automatically the Big Ten will get someone in. What happens if Wisconsin, as a hot 3-loss team, wins the Big Ten championship game?
Okay.
I mean, you have to think right now you can make Ohio State a huge favorite over Michigan to win and get there. What if they went there and got upset by Wisconsin in the championship?
Then no Big Ten team is in. You're correct.
That's another path for Cincinnati to at least have games to watch to hope. Here's a shot to the end zone. Evan Prater looking for a touchdown, and he's got one to Jordan Jones. Second touchdown pass this season thrown by Evan Prater. And Cincinnati pouring it on.
Impressive drive by Evan Prater. Kind of the same touchdown pass we had to Evan Pierce early on. Ball in the belly, set, get it out on time against man coverage, placement on the chest. Really impressive drive. And how about that, 9? Excited for the young freshman, knowing what it's like to be in those shoes.
There's a flag down in the end zone, and the officials get together.
Probably going to flag him for having too much fun.
The result of the play is a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 8 and number 72. 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. That is number 8 and number 72's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
That's 15 yards for too much fun?
Yeah, like these kids.
Flag them.
Yeah, not allowed to smile.
They have had a lot to jump up and down about today and all season long. Squeezing that one through his bails, and now we've got pushing and shoving and flags thrown after the point after attempt. As the place kicker Alex Bales comes tumbling out of the pile, shoved by someone. You can certainly understand SMU's frustration, but you don't want to see things get ugly.
Remember, SMU's got some youth on their defense, right? 2 young secondaries, 2 young corners.
The point after touchdown is good. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 82. That 15-yard penalty will also be enforced on the kickoff. Timeout on the field.
That looked like a good call, as that was Noah Davis kicking at the legs of Richard Moore that started that altercation.
ESPN College Football is delivered by Papa John's. It's Bacon Mania at Papa John's with the new Triple Bacon Pizza. Order today. And in part by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
Coach Fickell might be well on his way to bringing yet another AAC championship to Cincinnati. He was 6-7 as the interim coach at Ohio State. And after spending the better part of a couple of decades there as a terrific assistant coach, part of national championship teams, I'm not sure anyone saw this level of success coming to Cincinnati, but he's got a team that might upset the apple cart and be the first group of 5 ever in the college football playoff. We will see. Right now, let's go back to Matt. Love it. Love it. It's a good running play to start off this drive for Trey Siggers and SMU. Why not empty the vault of everything that you have at your disposal if you're Arkansas?
Matt Berry would have found a way not to score on that throwback by Michigan. He would have gotten walked down at his own 30-yard line.
Says the guy who ran a 6'2" in high school. Tough day for Tanner Mordecai. He's going to tuck it under and run here and slide down to the 46. Picked up a yard.
All right, we're getting into this. This is a conversation we are having.
Great.
So we sat down and asked all the coaches, you know, Thanksgiving's in 5 days, what their favorite part of Thanksgiving meal was. Coach Fickle was like, I don't know, whatever my wife gives me. You know, I'm a coach, I don't have a lot of time. He said, it's like she puts a plate in front of me, I'm like a dog.
Mordecai, incomplete. There is a flag down back near the line of scrimmage. Austin Upshaw, the intended receiver.
Mashed potatoes, stuffing, no gravy, which I'm cool with. Coach Denbrock, turkey, sweet potato casserole with melted marshmallow, and green bean casserole.
For an eligible player downfield, 3rd down.
Defensive coordinator Mike Tressel. What did he say? He said, oh, leftovers. He said leftovers are better than the originals. Sonny Dykes. Let's see what Sonny said. I got the note here. Turkey, 3 ways, smoked, fried, and broiled, mashed potatoes. Then he said, I'm a dressing guy. What is dressing?
It's like gravy. Just another word for gravy.
Call it dressing.
Back shoulder throw. It looked like Dylan Goffney stepped out of bounds and then came back in to touch it. He was also tied up on the coverage of Jaquan Shepard.
Pass interference. Defense number 5. Ball be placed at the spot of foul. Automatic. 1st down.
Now the pass interference takes care of Goffney stepping out of bounds if they say he was pushed out.
Good job by Goffney at the bottom of the screen fighting. True freshman, had a big game last week. Big, powerful, physical guy.
I think the takeaway of all of the coaches
Jim
talking about the Thanksgiving meal was you were looking for someone to back you up as Bentley gets into the secondary. Gets to the sideline. Looking for the pylon. And it looks like he is at the pylon, in for a touchdown. So SMU does get on the board as Ulysses Bentley is able to dance in for 6.
Nice run by Bentley. Does he get in? Left foot out at about the 3-yard line, 2.5, 3-yard line.
Yeah, he definitely stepped out of bounds, if not at first.
Previous play of a touchdown is under further review.
The second step was out of bounds. But again, I think you were looking for some coach to back up your absurd Thanksgiving theory of you don't like turkey. Like, of all of the days of the year to pick to announce to the world that you think turkey's bad.
Don't waste it on Thanksgiving.
And by the way, not one guy we talked to backed you up.
Well, Jim Levitt, the defensive coordinator for SMU, when we asked him, he said Pepsi. He's like, I don't care what it is, just Pepsi. I think eating turkey on Thanksgiving is a waste. I could go to Jersey Mike's and go get a turkey sandwich. Yes.
No.
Yes.
If you equate
I want sides.
whatever turkey is being cooked for you on Thanksgiving to the turkey you get when you go to like the deli, then they're not cooking the turkey the right way for you on Thanksgiving.
That's offensive to my wife.
That's
you being offensive to your wife.
After further review, the receiver steps out of bounds at the 3-yard line.
I want.
Ball will be placed there. Will be 1st down.
I want the sides. I want the sweet potato casserole with the melted marshmallows. I want stuffings, but not a lot of vegetables. And I want stuffing. I want mashed potatoes. I don't want to waste all my stomach space with turkey, which again, I can go to any sandwich shop and get a turkey hoagie.
Yeah, you're too skinny to have credibility in this conversation. I'm
Eating
sorry.
turkey on Thanksgiving is a waste of belly space.
Well, Cincinnati trying to preserve the shutout. It is 1st and goal at the 3. Mordecai on a play fake. Rolls left. Dives for the pylon. And it looks like they will say he stepped out in between the 3- and 4-yard lines. He actually lost about a half-yard. Michael Keys ran him out.
Good effort by Mordecai. Keys running, right around that 3.5-yard line. That right foot steps out. They were trying to leak Calcaterra into the flat, and their defense just did a good job of staying home in their zones. Some good reps for these backup guys on their defense too. You know, a goal line opportunity as a backup player. Like, it's just a good experience for some of these players that don't get a ton of reps.
And now they have to call timeout as the play clock was winding down. The entire offense was looking over to the sideline
SMU
as they
takes their
did
first
not
charge
get the
timeout
play
of the
called.
half. Timeout on the field.
Guest list for the Mannings tonight.
You've reached Peyton and Eli. Leave a message.
What's up, knuckleheads? It's Chuck. I'd love to do the show again and bring Shaq with me this time. Watch Peyton and Eli. You never know who'll drop by.
You can kick off your Week 11 NFL Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. The Countdown Crew on ESPN and the app. Patrick Mahomes and Dak Prescott will square off. They'll also go inside the lines with the Cowboy quarterback in our Wired for Sound segment. Then Monday Night Football, Giants-Bucks, 8 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN Plus, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. I'm prepared to take my beating, by the way, for my misidentification of dressing to some, as far as Thanksgiving food's concerned. Mordecai lobs one into the end zone. Flag out. That'll be pass interference as Rashee Rice, the intended receiver, he was bumped again by Shepard.
Pass interference. Defense number 5. The foul occurred in the end zone by rule. The ball is placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Mordecai just throwing this ball up to Rice, and Shepard never gets his head back to really find the football, and that forces that run through. I'm with you, man. Dressing being the same word as stuffing blows my mind.
Here's Siggers at the goal line. He is in for an SMU touchdown. So the shutout by the boards, and SMU gets on the scoreboard. Well, why?
Because your stomach?
Yeah, like what? Is that an appearance thing? You like took a look at the three of us standing next to each other? It must be like that guy knows the most about food. That is true. All right. I have been educated, but that's a Southern thing. I'm from Jersey. It's not like I don't know what stuffing is. I appreciate that.
Well, I love dressing.
Tonight, the Pac-12's top teams square off in what could be a Pac-12 championship game preview. Oregon, number 3. Utah, number 23. They lead the North and South, respectively. Saturday night, it's football at 7:30 Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app. One app, one tap. And, Dan, as you said, arguably the most impressive win by any team in college football this year, Oregon, with their road win against Ohio State earlier this year as we go back to Matt. Well, they always seem to have a frightening running back in the pipeline at Wisconsin. As we approach the midway point of the fourth quarter, Ethan Wright moves the pile for 7 yards on first down.
Looking ahead for Cincinnati, so we've talked about all the teams that are kind of around them. They're going to be playing Houston in the American Conference Championship, right? Houston ranked in the top 25 this week in the college football playoff ranking. I think they were somewhere on 23 or 24, right? So that game in the American Championship, thinking that they'll beat East Carolina next week, Cincinnati, that game's going to help kind of the resume again for Cincinnati, especially if they have a performance against Houston like they've had today against SMU. I mean, Houston and SMU played about a month ago, and it was a one-score game. That's going to help this Cincinnati team.
3rd down and a half yard. As the Bearcats will try and keep this possession alive, as they have locked up a spot in the championship game here in the conference with the win they are about to get. They'll run it again with Wright and pick up the 1st down. The question is, if you're actually trying to put the resumes side by side,
sure,
unless they get one of those losses from the teams we were talking about,
they're not in.
I don't see how a win for a team that's barely inside the top 25 is going to be what the committee's going to say. Well, if they beat Houston and they were ranked 30th, we wouldn't put them ahead over Alabama, say, but we will,
sure,
because they beat a team that's kind of barely in the back end of the top 25. I don't know.
So let's live in the world where Ohio State beats Michigan. Oregon,
which is likely.
Right. Alabama's in a 1-score game right now versus Arkansas with somewhere around 6 minutes to go in the game.
That throw goes through the hands of Pauling.
So you want, if you're Cincinnati, what you truly want is you've got to win your next 2 games, right? Take care of your own business. You've got to have Georgia hammer Alabama. No, I don't say hammer. You got to beat Alabama by 2 possessions, 10 plus points. That takes Alabama out of the conversation if they don't win today. Then Ohio State, you want Ohio State, either Michigan or Ohio State, to win their next 2 games, right? Because then that's going to be your Big Ten champion right there. Ohio State would have 2 losses if Michigan wins. The worst case scenario would be if Alabama beats or loses to Georgia by 3 points.
5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Oregon's a slight underdog tonight to Utah.
And they're going to have to beat Utah twice, right? In the next 3 weeks, they'll have to play and beat Utah twice.
And when you say you want Ohio State or Michigan to win out, I mean, to me, if one of those teams gets to the Big Ten championship game, and obviously one will, and Wisconsin pulls off an upset,
right?
I mean, that would be huge for Cincinnati.
Let me throw this at you for the Cincinnati fans. This would be, I've sat in those committees and done the mock.
I did as well.
College football playoff. The thing with Oregon is this. Let's say Oregon goes to the Pac-12 championship. They win today, win next week. They go to the Pac-12 championship against Utah, and they lose on a game-ending field goal. That'll give them their 2nd loss. But again, the committee looks at so many different data points. The game that Oregon did lose against Stanford, they did not have their offensive coordinator. The committee will factor that in. They will look at it as, well, you lost a game without your starting quarterback. That's how they will look at it. So you've basically won every game without your coordinator. And I would wonder if we're going to sit here and say, well, a 2-loss Alabama could get in. Do we think a 2-loss Oregon, if they lost in the Pac-12 championship, would have the chance to get in, given one of the losses was without the coordinator and one of the wins is beating Ohio State on the road?
Quarterback run, and Prater gets knocked down about a yard shy of the 1st down. What would help Oregon's case? I don't think that would happen, but what would certainly help their case is if Ohio State just continues to go scorched earth these next couple of weeks.
Hammer Michigan.
If they hammer Michigan, if they win convincingly in the Big Ten championship game, and they are sitting there with that kind of a resume, and you beat them in their place.
Without our best player.
That
Thibodeau didn't play.
That would be maybe the only way that you'd probably get that nod. As again, Cincinnati will go for it on 4th down. They'll run it with Wright, and it looks like he's going to come up short. So with 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, SMU is going to get a stop on downs, get the ball back to their offense in plus territory. We'll step aside for just a moment.
This Bearcat defense has been the star of the afternoon. You got inside Brooks and Briggs. They're going to stunt and wrap Huber, the linebacker, around. Quarterback panics, walks right into that sack. And then you're going to go, okay, Myjai Sanders and Briggs, you guys work together. You contain the left side. Briggs wrap around. Brooks, you get one-on-one. And then we condense the pocket on the quarterback. The pass rush unit for Cincinnati's defense today has been as advertised.
Screen to Roderick Daniels. He picks up 4. And this is Cincinnati defense that is top 10 in the country in a lot of the important categories, such as scoring defense, passing defense, top 13 in total yards. They've only allowed 6 touchdown passes the entire season. That's second best in FBS. Number 1 in opponent completion percentage. Some will say that's because they play in this league, and it's not the competition of the Power 5 leagues. But Dan, you're saying that you think this defense could or would stack up with any of the defenses you've seen on tape this year, and we've called a lot of Power 5 games.
We've done Wisconsin, we've done Iowa, we've done Penn State, we've done Oklahoma State. I think this unit can play with all of them. I think this unit can give their team a chance to beat everybody that they play. I think we saw that a little bit last year, though, too, Bob, right? In the Georgia game. We saw this defense play pretty darn good football in that game. I think the difference today is we saw a group of young men that were locked in. You know, this is the most locked in and focused this group has been in certainly a couple weeks.
And Ulysses Bentley, who SMU basically just got back over the last couple of weeks to the best form he has been in since getting injured back in September. You want to see him walk this off and stay healthy for the Mustangs as we go back to Matt. Mordecai back shoulder, and that's a completion down inside the 15-yard line to the 13 to Bo Barker. That's a gain of 21. There's Tyler Levine. Nearly broke a tackle to get free inside the 10. Tripped up down to the 8-yard line as Taj Ward made the stop. Down to the last 3 minutes and 15 seconds to go. So it looks like Alabama is certainly going to survive against Arkansas, although the Razorbacks put a scare into the Crimson Tide.
Nice way for Cincinnati. Correct me, they get another home game now because of this win, right? The American Conference Championship will be here.
Hand-to-hand combat at the goal line. Dylan Goffney had it go through his hands.
Goffney's going to be a good player for SMU. 6'2", 215 out of Cyprus. Thick, powerful player, man.
Up the middle on 3rd down goes Levine, and he is driven back at the 5-yard line. So the win today gives Cincinnati an automatic trip to the championship game, but they have not locked up hosting.
They got to win next week.
Championship game yet. Okay. 4th down and about a yard from just inside the 5. Levine up the middle. He is right about at the line to gain. Looks like he has the 1st down.
Houston's got to go beat UConn as well.
Wow, that's
good luck.
That's no gimme.
It quite literally is.
That's terrible. Levine brought down again at the 3-yard line. And now flags fly as tempers start to flare, as there was still plenty of contact after the whistles blew.
Roderick Daniels in the slot. He's fighting with, is that Threets?
after the play was over. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense, number 13. And defense, number 10. Those fouls will offset. Resolve the play. Second down.
I actually thought that was a good job by Threats on defense, just keeping his composure. Learning moment for Roderick Daniels. Got to keep your cool no matter what.
Less than 200 yards of total offense in the game for the Mustangs. Here's a jet sweep. Spinning into the end zone for the touchdown is Rice. And that was a violent collision at about the 4-yard line.
Timeout for injured player.
I believe that's Sammy Anderson. Check that Justin Harris is down after that collision for Cincinnati. That was a high-speed open field hit, a little scary, as the moment that he made that hit, he went down at the 4-yard line, and immediately the training staff was called out by the players that were out there. It's good to see him sit up.
I see some of those guys around him clapping too. Talked about the collision, Bob. He's going to come off. Rice just running hard. Good to see him get up.
So after the touchdown, point after attempt is good. A couple of touchdowns on the board now for SMU. With 1 minute and 17 seconds to go, as Rashee Rice with his first rushing touchdown of the season. Auburn, South Carolina coming up next year on ESPN. College football primetime standing by. As we last week, at least most of our crew, you had a chance to call that Michigan-Penn State game, which was terrific. And we saw a wild comeback last week. If memory serves, with about 6 minutes to go in the first half, it was 28-3 Auburn over Mississippi State. And then Mike Leach, his offense.
That quarterback they got,
Will Rogers,
play,
scored a touchdown before halftime.
Yeah.
And they said that was like the switch flipping. And they came out in the second half, and Auburn just could not stop them.
It was like the Super Bowl years ago, New England, Atlanta.
A fair catch will be made, bring it out to the 25-yard line. But today about Cincinnati, dominant performance, and of course Desmond Ridder at the middle of all of it.
Yeah, he put on a show. It started early. First play offensively for them. They take advantage of quarters coverage. They throw the post over the top to Scott. They used him on 4th and 1. He runs the line of scrimmage. Zone read and the safety commits. Impressive speed to run away from everybody. How about the little bit of a Philly special? I'll throw back to him, Jordan Jones to Desmond Ridder. And his favorite red zone target, Alec Pierce, on that beautiful back shoulder fade. You know, I said it. I've seen a lot of his games over the past 4 years, and I really believe this was the best game quarterbacking-wise I have seen him play. The pocket movement, the subtlety, he had 3 throws today that the ball was out of his hands so stinking early, and that's really, really difficult to grasp how important that is. He's going to move on and play in the NFL. I'll say this: as I watch here today, I think he's a first-round quarterback.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I didn't know, going into the season, I didn't really know a couple weeks ago, but after watching today, and I'm not caring about who's it against. It's all about what it looks like to me, the process of what it looks like. And he looks like a first-rounder now.
Sometimes the Desmond Ridders can be in the best possible spot, because if they're drafted in the first round, but it's the back end of the first round,
correct,
they get drafted by a good team.
Right.
You're Lamar Jackson.
Right.
And now you come in and you're really good, but you also get to play with a team that's really good, rather than having to be the guy that has to resurrect the team that's really struggling.
Right now, he's the winningest quarterback in college football right now. And he's never lost in this building. And it was a clinical performance by him and his football team today.
And another big step for Cincinnati towards the college football playoff. Will that be their ultimate destination? Desmond Ridder and the Bearcats 48-14 over SMU. For Chris Button and Dan Orlovsky, I'm Bob Wischusen saying so long from Cincinnati. Next on ESPN, we'll send you to Auburn, South Carolina. Thanks for watching.